Happy birthday to Pittsburgh, 250 years old, the gateway to the heartland, where the three rivers flow.
Well, the 250th anniversary year of so much of our region is almost at an end, but not before a labor and industrial historian and a singer-songwriter had a chance to sum up the point of Pittsburgh. The Point of Pittsburgh is the title of a new book and a companion CD of songs that tell the stories of the many individuals who made our region, and in some cases the world, over the past 250 years. Not so much from the perspective of the captains of industry, but from that of the people who worked for them and were affected by them. Charlie McCollester is a labor historian at IUP in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Mike Stout is a singer-songwriter, and good to have you both here. Yeah, Charlie, you've been writing about this stuff for an entire career. What was the genesis of the Point of Pittsburgh?
Well, there is a real need for a single-volume narrative about the city of Pittsburgh. Stephan Laurent does a picture book basically with a bunch of unconnected essays. So there's been a real need for this, but there also there's so many books on the Carnegies and the Mellons and the great financiers and industrialists that really felt the crying need for something that told the story of the other side of the workers and the families and the communities and the struggles. And production and struggle is the subtitle of the book. And Pittsburgh is extremely notable for its production. It was one of the most productive places in the world for at least 50 to 75 years. And the struggles that were fought here really created the American middle class and established things that we take for granted, the weekend and Social Security and workers' compensation and many, many other benefits were things that were fought for by labor unions. And labor organization is really fundamental to the story of Pittsburgh, and I felt that it needed to be told in a coherent and comprehensive way.
Hey, but what's the beauty of the book is it's not this sort of dry history of labor unions or the labor movement. It's about individuals, and there's some great stories here, Mike, that probably a lot of people who've lived in the region all their lives never even heard of a lot of these people.
I would say most of the people in the book and most of the people in the songs that I wrote and sing, nobody's heard about them. And what's really almost criminal about that is these people accomplish so much. There's women and there's African Americans, as well as workers in the history from the Burg who have done more than any 100 men you'll read about in history. There's young girls between the ages of 12 and 20 who worked in the cotton mills in the 1840s and 1850s who won the first law in the history of the United States reducing the workday. There's a woman named Crystal Eastman who I did a song about who she did more than any 1,000 men in 20 years. She wrote the first workers' compensation law. She wrote the first Equal Rights Amendment. She co-founded the American Civil Liberties Union. She made it possible for women to go to the beach without wearing long sleeves and long pants. This woman was hundreds of years ahead of her time. We have yet to find anybody in business, in labor, in any kind of movement, left wing, right wing, you name it, who's even heard of her.
Wow, Crystal Eastman, there's a name, the reason to buy the book and the CD just for that. Sure, only about a minute left, but I'm wondering what you think this book, this history, has to say to us today, especially given the economic challenges that seem to be ahead of us.
Right, well, I think there's two things. One is that this book talks about the tremendous struggle and solidarity of peoples and community building that this area, I think, is justly famous for and is reflected in Steeler Nation and the fact that people want to maintain a connection with this place. And the other thing is that we are going to need production in the future. We're going to need wealth creation. This was a great center of wealth creation. We've lost that. And to get wealth creation back, I believe very firmly, we're going to have to let the workers into the process. And I think, we should be supporting the Employee Free Choice Act. I think the establishment here should give up on the Homestead Strike of 1892 from their side. And we need to open up the process inside our workplaces for the intelligence, the participation, the imagination of the workforce. And there should not be just employment at will where some one person or management can terminate somebody's employment. We need an acceptance of what the rights that working people fought for in Pittsburgh.
Well, an important voice here at the very end of the anniversary year. How do people get a copy of the book or the CD?
Well, the best way is probably to go to pointofpittsburgh.com. It's a wonderful web page that we have, and you can order it through there, and the orders go to Mike Stout's print shop, and we're very, very pleased with the reception it's getting. We gave it to City Council, County Council. We're going to give it to every school in the Allegheny County. We're going to give it to every library in Allegheny County as reference books.
All right. Well, congratulations, Charlie McCollester, Mike Stout, and hopefully we all have some continued success in the year ahead.
Thank you, Bill, for helping
Thank
us
you.
reclaim our history.
Sure. Next up, toasting in the new year with a popular local brew. We'll find out about the big changes in store at Penn Brewery when our region's business returns.